Donald Trump has amassed a lethal armada across the Middle East, stealth fighters, bombers, and carrier strike groups poised for a devastating aerial blitz on Iran if talks collapse. But Tehran is no easy target. Backed by advanced air defense systems strengthened through its strategic partnership with Russia, Iran's skies are no longer defenseless. That is precisely why Washington is taking no chances, because one misstep could turn a show of force into a costly confrontation. According to the Military Watch website, the United States Air Force has redeployed 2 squadrons of the F-16CJ fighters from bases in the US and Europe to the Middle East amid tensions with Iran. Open-source tracking data and reports have indicated that 36 F-16 fighter jets have been flown to the bases in the region on February 19th, out of which 24 were F-16CJ jets. The F-16CJ aircraft are wired and certified for the AN-ASQ-213 HRAM harm targeting system, a pod mounted on the side of the intake that locates hostile radar emitters and provides accurate targeting data to the AGM-88-E and HRAM anti-radiation missiles. According to the report, the F-16CJ can use the HTS pod to build a real-time picture of hostile radar coverage, providing the intelligence needed to engage priority emitters with anti-radiation missiles. The US Air Force and Marine Corps have also deployed F-35 fifth-generation fighters, which integrate sizable arrays of passive sensors. They can be used to gather valuable intelligence on enemy radars and deploy powerful electronic warfare suites to disrupt radar targeting and detection efforts, the Military Watch website reported. The US Air Force has also deployed considerable KC-135 tankers to the Middle East to extend the ranges of its aviation assets. On the other hand, Iran has also repositioned its strike drones under the cover of joint military drills with Russia. Air defense suppression assets are considered particularly critical for a potential war with Iran, as while the country has not invested in procuring modern combat aircraft and fields an obsolete predominantly Vietnam War-era fighter fleet, its ground-based air defense network has proven to be highly capable. The network is built around multiple long-range systems, including multiple variants of the indigenous Bavar 373 and Khordad 15, as well as the Russian S-300 PMU, the Soviet S-200D, which has been domestically modernized, and according to some reports, new Chinese systems delivered in 2025, possibly the HQ-9B.
These are supported by multiple short and medium-range systems such as the third of Khordad and Tor.
Iran has repositioned its strike drones under the cover of joint military drills with Russia in the Strait of Hormuz, Fox News reported. A defense expert has described the move as a calculated escalation, unfolding at a moment of rising tensions between Tehran and Washington. Cameron Chell of defense firm Dragonfly claims Iranian forces shifted drones and other military assets into potential strike positions while participating in combined exercises with Russian forces along the coastline. According to Chell, the drills provided convenient cover. He argues that the Russian exercises allowed Iran to mask the repositioning of drones into operational locations, calling it a deliberate and strategic escalation. The joint exercises, reported by the Associated Press, coincided with mounting diplomatic pressure from US President Donald Trump. Following indirect talks in Geneva, Trump signaled determination to secure an agreement over Iran's nuclear ambitions. "We're going to make a deal, or we're going to get a deal one way or the other," he told reporters aboard Air Force One.
Get a deal one way or the other.
But with a military strike, is it to wipe out their nuclear program?
I'm not going to talk to you about that, but we're either going to get a deal or...
Meanwhile, U.S. military movements in the region have been highly visible. On February 18th, U.S. Central Command released photographs showing FA-18 Super Hornets landing on the deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea. Flight tracking data has also indicated the presence of U.S. Navy MQ-4C Triton surveillance drones operating near Iran's coastline. One Triton was observed on February 14th and another on February 18th, conducting high-altitude maritime intelligence missions over the Gulf. Chell explained that the MQ-4C Triton is a surveillance platform without strike capability, typically flying at around 50,000 feet. He said such drones would likely launch from land bases in countries including Saudi Arabia or Qatar, providing real-time situational awareness to naval commanders. According to Chell, these drones are flown at altitudes that make them visible to Iranian forces, serving as a deterrent. However, he also claimed that an MQ-9 Reaper was deployed. Unlike the Triton, the MQ-9 has strike capability and operates at altitudes between 25,000 and 40,000 feet. Chell stated that Iran does not possess strong capabilities to shoot down such platforms. As tensions simmer, the USS Gerald R. Ford, the second aircraft carrier sent to the Middle East by President Trump, and its accompanying vessels are heading across the Atlantic into the Mediterranean Sea. The military maneuvers on both sides are unfolding against a backdrop of heightened warnings. Poland, a NATO ally of the United States, has urged its citizens to leave Iran immediately. Its prime minister warned that the possibility of conflict is very real.
Taking this opportunity, I would also like to make all Polish citizens aware, both women and men, who are currently in Iran or, God forbid, are planning to travel to that country. And I am saying this also on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Prime Minister Sikorski, who called me just before arriving at the training ground. All of you who are still in Iran, please leave immediately and under no circumstances travel to that country. I don't want to scare anyone here with any potential developments, but we all know what I'm talking about. The possibility of a hot conflict is very, very real, and in a dozen or several dozen hours, evacuation will no longer be an option. So please take this very seriously. We have bad experiences from the past. Some ignore these calls and warnings and such. So I must emphasize again, please leave Iran immediately or do not travel to that country, as no one will be able to guarantee evacuation options in the event of an armed conflict.
In the narrow waters of the Strait of Hormuz, where global energy supplies transit daily, every movement is being watched. Military drills, surveillance flights, carrier deployments, and diplomatic ultimatums are converging in a volatile theater. Whether this is deterrence, preparation, or escalation may depend on what happens next.